Dudes and Dudettes. My name is Sonia, my pronouns are she, her, and I'm welcoming you to a pretty special Teenage Mutant Ninja Thursday. So, it's no secret that I have been a fan of TMNT as long as I've pretty much been alive. And it all started with that classic cartoon show from the 80s. 1987, December 1987 to be specific. And one of the coolest things that we as fans can do in this day and age, now that they're happening again, is go to conventions and meet some of the people that made our childhoods amazing. And I've been very fortunate to be able to meet the man behind the shells, the voice actors for the Fab Four Turtles and some of their most fearsome foes on two separate occasions. Well, mainly two separate occasions. So the first time I met them was in 2016 in Indianapolis Comic-Con, and I was so hyped. Like, this was going to be like almost like a pilgrimage for me as a fan. Which it sounds kind of silly when you say it out loud, but for how much this series has meant to me, like it's truly meeting my heroes. And I know the old saying is, you should never meet your heroes, they'll always let you down. My response to that is, you didn't pick good heroes. I picked better heroes than you because they're amazing. So about a week before this convention, I was all hype. I was going to meet all four of them, and about a week before the convention, or probably days before the convention, they issued a statement saying, hey, we're sorry, but Rob Paulson, the voice of Raphael, he's sick. Found out later he had laryngitis, which is like the worst thing you can have as a voice actor at a convention. So he was not able to make it. But I was still able to meet the other three, Cam Clark, Barry Gordon, and Townsend Coleman, Leonardo, Donatello, and Michelangelo, respectively. And they were amazing. They were so fun, so nice, so sweet. And this is basically for me a lifetime ago. But I had them sign my copy of my original copy, mind you. This is the first game I ever played. This is the original cartridge, the first thing I've ever played as a gamer. For TMNT 2, the arcade game, and they signed it. I've got Mikey in the front, and I've got Leo and Don in the back. And if he had been there, I'm sure we would have had Raph on the back here too. But it was great. I was so giddy, so fangirly. Like, I met Townsend first, Michelangelo, and I was just so nervous and so just like, And I was like, oh my god, like, you guys have been in my life as long as I can remember. Like, it's such an honor to meet you guys. Like, I'm kind of freaking out right now. And he just goes right into the character and goes, so, like, what would you do if I talked like this? And my legit reaction was just to go, But they're amazing. They are so fun. We got to do... my brother and my friend Jacob were there. We did panels. I did one extra panel. Anything they did, I was there for it. And it was just such a magical experience, such a great experience. And I had no idea how much, honestly, better it can get. No disrespect to Cam, Barry, and Townie. They are amazing. But the true magic happens when all four of them are together. Because these guys are legitimately brothers. Like, that's the thing. Like, these are the kind of guys who could not see each other for 5 years and then get together, and then it's like nothing ever happened. They are thick as thieves, close as brothers. These guys are amazing. So fast forward to this past year, 2022. And I've had a lot of changes. I am no longer the person that they made this original cartridge out to. I have found myself. I am blossoming. I am thriving. I am so happy. And in fact, this convention, the slightly unfortunately named Fanboy Convention in Columbus, was actually my first big event out in public as myself. As myself cosplaying as a sort of modern take on April O'Neil. Yellow. I got the turtle come. I am such a dork. But you knew that when you signed up. And if you didn't, hey, I'm a big dork. So it was huge. It was huge to get to see them again. To get to see the three again, to meet Rob finally, and it was just a magical experience, and I really want to talk about my weekend, because it was also the first big event I went to with my current girlfriend, Paige, who also has a YouTube channel, Paige Rich, which I will link in the description box below, not the comments, but you can comment, but we'll talk about that later. It was just so amazing, and I thought about it. I'm like, do I want them to finish this and then sign something else, or do I want, and then I thought about it, and then I thought about, I'm not going to be in this apartment forever. And I would really like a really cool mantelpiece. So I had them sign this. The 4-pack box for the Turtles in Disguise NECA figures. And there were other people who had them signed, but they wanted it signed on the inside, like where the figures would be with like the plastic window box, the figures would be if I was not an out-of-box collector. But I love this. I love this art. It's big enough for them to write really big, really clear, and it's funny. So I also got pictures. So we'll put that up here now. Yeah, I know. I don't have editing yet. We're going to get editing, but we don't have it yet. So from left to right, there is Barry Gordon, Donatello, and Bebop. We've got Cam Clark, who is Leonardo and Rocksteady. We got me. Hi, me. We've got Townsend Coleman, who is Michelangelo and the Rat King. And then Rob Paulson over here, who is Raphael and Zach, the Fifth Turtle. And they all do a bunch of other Villain of the Week, interstitial voices. They are so talented, but so humble. Because to us, they are like these amazing megastars. And for them, it was just like, this was a fun thing to do, and like, slowly they would just see like how big this got. But I just want to briefly touch on kind of my thoughts on these 4 amazing legends, because for me, they are legends. Like, they're so humble, they'll say like, we're not heroes, we're actors, we're so glad we influenced your lives, but I'm like, y'all are my heroes, and I absolutely love you. So Barry Gordon, who voiced Donatello and Bebop, he is so sweet. He's like your favorite uncle who's like so warm and caring, or like your favorite grandfather, like so warm and caring and just so mellow. I love him. In fact, it's funny. So I met Barry, Cam, and Townsend on Friday night of this convention, because Rob wasn't there yet. He had flight troubles. And I'm like, oh God, not again. Thankfully, clearly, he did make it. But so I met them on Friday, and then this picture was taken on Saturday, obviously, when Rob got there. And when I went up, to post the picture, Barry was like, hey, you're Sonia, right? And I'm like, uh-huh. Like, he remembered my name. And Lord knows how many people he saw that day, but that meant the world to me. And then we've got Cam. I love Cam. Cam is probably tied with Townsend for just the most animated and just almost wacky and just like fun-loving of the group. He is amazing. So like, if you've never been to a convention, like all of like the voice actors and actors and like guests, they all have like an assistant with them to like kind of like help them make sure they're in the right place, right time, or whatever. So they all had to leave for something. Actually, they left to go for like their pictures on Friday, and then they came back very quickly because everybody wanted to wait until Saturday so they could have all 4. So I was in Cam's line, and Barry comes back, Tony comes back, and there's no Cam. And there's no Cam. And we're waiting. And then he's like, he finally comes back, and the guy's like, Cam, where have you been? And he's like, I was just walking around. I'm like, did you know this? They're giving out free samples of fudge? Like, Cam Clark is just a delight. I love him. Fan him on Facebook if you haven't. He's got a really cool story, and just, he is amazing. In fact, he was the first one to sign this. And he went to open it up, and he was like, they're not in there. Like, did you get ripped off? I'm like, no, honey, no. I'm out of box. And I started showing him, like, my setup, And he was asking like, well, who's that? Who's that? Because they're all the NECA figures from the show. So I'm like going through and telling him this and that, and like it's really cool that he's like, he takes an interest, and they're just all so personable. We already kind of talked about Townie. I love Townie. We're friends on Facebook. He is great, fun-loving guy. Pretty much what you would expect Michelangelo to be like is Townsend. He's a great family man, father, grandfather. His little grandkids are adorable. He's super nice, super cool. The guy in front of me, actually, to meet Townie, he had with him like this press release kit for the 87 series, and it was so cool. It had like cast pictures and like synopses of the show and like outlines. It was all like stuff they would send to the networks, like syndication. Just this really cool time capsule. And then like both me and Townie were geeking out about it. It was so funny. It was so cool. And last but very not least is Rob Paulson, who, if you don't know, you could say he's the most successful of the four. In terms of that, he's been like in the most high-profile things. Aside from Ninja Turtles, he was also he was Steelbeak, the villain on Darkwing Duck. He was and his biggest role has been, other than Turtles, I would think would be Animaniacs, where he's Yakko Warner, Dr. Scratch-and-Sniff, and Pinky. No. And of course, he's also Donatello in the 2012 Nickelodeon adaptation of Ninja Turtles, which is a really good series. It's my second favorite incarnation of the Turtles, and if you haven't checked it out and you're a fan of the old school Turtles, I really think you should give it a try. It's really good. But yeah, like I said, he voices Yakko Warner. And so when I went up, to get my autograph from him, the first thing he does is, in Yakko Warner's voice, he says to me, "Hello, nurse," indicating that I am, how Yakko would say, "Hey, there's a pretty girl." I'm like, so much gender euphoria just from that. I don't know if he knows how much that meant to me to have him say that, but that was one of the absolute highlights, was just getting not only properly gendered, but gender euphoria from Yakko Warner. And we had a really great interaction, because I was telling him, like, a part of it's natural, but I think you also helped exacerbate my smartassedness. And he was like, I'm sorry about that. I'm like, I'll be sorry. It's not a bad thing. And then we started laughing. But he was great. He is so humble. And like I said, he's probably the most prolific, and he is so humble. Like, they're so thankful for us that we remember them, and that we continue to come and tell them how much they mean to us. And it's obvious they care. It's obvious that they love being together, that they are brothers, and they're my heroes. And I absolutely love each and every one of them, and I will always treasure this picture, these autographs, and the time I got to spend with them. And God's willing, I'll get to meet them again, because anytime they're close, I want to meet them, because they might not know me, but we've essentially been friends for 30 years. Anyway, thanks for letting me get sentimental and kind of wax nostalgic about conventions and the amazing voice actors behind the Turtles. If you like what I'm doing here, do all the YouTube stuff, like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell and notifications so you don't miss another Teenage Mutant Ninja Thursdays. Follow me on Twitter at SoniaOutAndProud, and I will see you all next time. Bye!